Hey there, Chrissy here. So, take two. This time I am going to talk about retirement. Okay, I've been wanting to do this all day and it's already just after 2 o'clock. So, I'm going to do that right now. So, it's been really interesting because the retirement subject has come up a few times over these last 2, 3 days. And I've had a couple of conversations with friends about it. And I think it's really important that just trying to think where best to start with this. Okay, I'm going to start with this, and some of you would have heard something similar to this many times before. So when we go to school, we are always told by our teachers and by our parents, go to school, get a great education, go on to college, so that you can then get a great job, a secure job that you can work in for the next 40 years. Yay, how exciting is that? For some people, it probably is really exciting. When I heard that when I was at school or heard similar kinds of things, mainly by my parents actually saying, work really hard at school so that you can get a good, secure job, and that'll set you up for life. I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do that. So even at that young age, I think I was cut from a very different cloth because even at that young age, the thought of being, yeah, of course, I wanted a secure job to start with. And I got a secure job. I actually got a job in a bank, which was really a very respectable position to have at the time. And I worked in that job for 5 years. So, but all the time my mind was thinking about traveling the world and going and having some fun and doing something a bit different. So that, I don't know where that came from, somewhere built into my DNA. I think that one of our ancestors was a great explorer, so I've heard. Anyway, so there was no way I was ever going to fit into that mold of working in a job for 40 years. And I'm not bagging anybody out that does it. Good on you. If that's something, if you are that steady character who is very happy or has been very happy in their job for many years and you love it, good on you. Honestly, good on you. But no, that was never going to work for me. And after a while, yes, I did get to travel. Yes, I went to work abroad and live abroad. And yes, I had lots of fun. And again, I did very non traditional work. I worked on cruise ships. I sold handmade chess sets in Germany for 18 months. That was fun. Loads of different things that people wouldn't even think about. I eventually went back to the UK. Uh, I lived with my parents for a very brief time, but I just wanted to have my own independence. So I was lucky enough to be able to buy a house, and I did that. And at that age, my dad would have probably recently been retired. Now, Dad had been a teacher for many years, most of his career. He started off in the military and then he was a carpenter and then he went to teachers training college. And Dad was a teacher for many years and he did love it. Um, when he first retired, he actually went back to teaching as a supply teacher for a few years, part time. Um, but I started to see many other people who we knew that reached the age of retirement and within a year they got ill, they died. So why is that? You know, it could be because when people retire and if they don't have the money to go and do all those wonderful things that they had hoped to do, and that happens a lot now. So I'm actually going to jump forwards to that. So people our age now. So I'm officially retired. It'll be 3 years this year. I don't mind sharing that. It's okay. I'll be 67 this year. And when I when I was approaching 65, I was thinking, oh, this is great. I'm going to retire. Well, I kid you not, by the time I turn 65, it's like there's no way in heck I'm going to retire for various reasons. I mean, I went through a divorce quite a few years ago. And so it's not like I'm in that loving relationship where you've got two incomes coming in and then together you can retire and you can go and travel the world and do all these amazing things that you'd always talked about. So I was single, and I prefer to say single than divorced, I think. Anyway, whatever. Um, I had a son, and because I was a later mother, when I retired, in fact, when I turned 65, my son turned 18. So he was just about ready to fly the nest. So I hit retirement and empty nester all at the same time, actually, thinking about it. And that wasn't easy. That really wasn't easy. So there was no way I was going to retire, stop working, stop connecting with people, stop using my brain, because I think I would have gone insane. I might have been on that list of people that had dropped dead because life had changed too much. And it was a lot more stressful than I had realized it would be. Retirement isn't always as wonderful as it's sold to us as when we're younger, because the pension ain't going to get you traveling the world, is it? Let's face it. Let's face cold, hard facts here. So when you retire, if you have not got yourself prepared, and in this day and age, I think it's very hard for people to do that because many people can't afford a retirement fund. They've got barely enough money to scrape together to pay their bills, let alone put access into a private retirement fund. So very sad, just not going to happen. So I wonder what happens to the people that are now 55 who are looking to retire in 10 years' time. Because that's the other thing. When you reach retirement age, and let's say you finish up in the job that you've been doing for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And what happens if you can't stay on and carry on working? You might try retirement for a little while, but then you might think, oh, actually, I can't afford not to work because my pension is only just covering my bills. It's not giving me any extra to actually go and live life. All of your life you work hard, that the idea is that when you reach 60, 65 now, that you can go and have some fun. It's the fact of life is that is really hard to do now. So what can you do to give yourself an extra income? So whether you are 50 or 55 now, what's your 5-10 year plan? And never mind just getting to 65 and then dealing with the whole how much money have I got to retire on, and then sit back and go and enjoy life. It's like whether you have to carry on working or not, do you have enough money to actually get you through to end of life? Because a lot of people are living longer now. I mean, I hope that I'm going to live a very long time, but I want to make sure that I'm living it and not just surviving it. And I'll be, again, totally honest with you here. 10 years ago, when I was faced with the similar question, have you got enough to get you through to end of life? Mine was a shrug of the shoulder and said, oh, yeah, everything will work out fine. Yeah, right. Cost of living has become more. Everything costs more. So the nest egg I had which was not a bad little nest egg sat there because I got into rental properties and the whole thing, and I had a nice pot of money. I ain't got it anymore because living costs and getting by costs have been crazy. And yes, I dipped into it every year up until COVID to take Aidan back to the UK so that we could see my parents and his other nana. So that, that was a lot of money. I have no regrets. I'm glad we did it. I'm really glad we did it. But where I am now, and yeah, it's a little bit like, yes, I'm pouring my heart out, but I'm not. I'm actually sharing this for a practical reason. I need to work to earn extra money to top up my pension so that I can actually start to build up that pot again to get me through to the end of my life. Okay. I need to work to keep my brain busy and active and switched on because dementia and Alzheimer's are a scary thing. And with the food we eat today, I'll tell you, nothing's helping us when it comes to, the brain health. So one of the things I can do, and I'm not one to sit down and do crosswords and all that. I get bored and I'm a doer. Okay. So I need to be doing something. So being in the online space helps me because I do calls with my team. I am about to start doing a book review session once a week. I enjoy mentoring and helping people like that. Okay. Years ago, I took a life coach course. I never did anything with it in life coaching then. However, all that experience is able to come together now to work with the people that join me in this business. So that's hugely important to me because I was talking to a friend the other day, and a mutual friend of ours is about to retire. But he's now thinking to himself, but what am I going to do? I'll be bored out of my mind. And these are things you need to start looking at early on and getting ready, getting yourself mentally prepared for retirement and early nester stuff. Some people are thinking, yeah, I can't wait to be an early empty nester, not early nester, empty nester. But if you're I don't know, I can't speak for the men here, but if you're a woman on your own that has brought up your kids and then they leave home, whether they go to uni, go flatting, whatever it is they're doing, you may think, oh, yes, I've got my freedom back now. I'm going to go and do this, that, and the other. Believe me, when it actually creeps up on you, it is the emptiest feeling. I'm going to cry now. It's the emptiest feeling in the world. It's horrible. It's horrible. And I've got a really close relationship with my son. I miss him like hell. But we do actually speak pretty much every day. And I'm so grateful for that because one day that might not be the case. And then it's going to hit me all over again. So do yourself a massive favor. Think about what you love. Think about what will happen when it comes time for you to retire. In the position you're in today, if you found that you were retired tomorrow, how far will your money stretch? Because again, that's the other thing. If you don't make your money work for you, and I'm not going to go down the route of trying to advise you, not that I would anyway, because I'm no longer a financial advisor, but you need to think about how you're going to make your money work for you to give you the best return. There's lots of things you can do now. So I would say go and explore various options to make sure you aren't in a position where you're left high and dry. If you think, oh my gosh, retirement's creeping up, there's no way I can live on my pension, but I don't want to work full time either, then think about a side hustle. And what is that going to look like? Will you just go and get a job in a store downtown that's going to pay you minimum wage? And are you going to love it? Or can you find something and prepare Look for something that you can really enjoy now that will then build up to the future. And yeah, I'm now going to talk to you about a side hustle. I work in the online space. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It is a great industry providing you choose the right company. There are some crappy companies out there, seriously, but there are some extremely good ones. I work within one of those few very, very good ones who know what they're doing. They're going to be sustainable. They're going to be around for a long time. They've got great backing, you know. So if you are thinking, oh, I've probably got an hour a day, a couple of hours a day that I can actually focus on something and build up. You just imagine if you start now, even if you started really slowly, and you could build up a passive income that will set you up for life. And I can help you. We have the biggest support system and the most simple, easy to follow system that I have ever seen. So whether you're 50, 60, or even already hit retirement age like me, and you're thinking, life's hard and I'm too young to just stop. You don't want to stop, because when we stop, when this stops, when our bodies stop, when our brains stop, well, God knows what's going on, you know. I dread to think what would happen if I just stopped. I'm not ready to. There's no compromise here. I'm not ready to. I want to continue. I want to continue connecting with people. I want to travel with the people that I'm connecting with. I'm making such great friends in this online space. And earlier in the year, I met some of those friends that I've known online for a long time. And it was amazing. There's more travel later on this year. I'm really looking forward to being able to re-meet those people and meet a lot of people that I've only seen online. It's fun. We have a great community. Come and join us. Give it a try. Come and give it a try. And as well as making money, you know what? You can get your health back on track. Just talk to me. I'm not going to talk about the products now, because literally I just wanted to get across the point about business, retirement, having enough money, not having enough money, having loads of surplus money that gives you choices to live the life you desire, okay, and deserve. Okay, take care. Bye for now. You know how to contact me. You should do by now. Bye.